This is Ganesh. Today I will be explaining you about the government budget and its objectives. Government budget means that is the budget prepared by the government. Now, this budget is prepared by central government, state government and local self-governments. The budget prepared by the central government is called union budget, master budget or central budget. In the same way, state governments prepare their own budgets. Now, what is a budget? Budget is a statement which shows the revenues and expenditures of that particular agency. If suppose central government is preparing the budget, then it will show all the receipts of the central government and all the payments of the central government. In the same way, if state government is preparing the budget, then it will show all the receipts or revenues of the state government and all the expected expenditures of the state government. So preparation of budget is very essential so that we can estimate how much money we are going to earn and how much money we can spend. To know that, we prepare the budget. Now here certain things are very important when we talk about the budget. The first thing is budget is generally prepared for a specified period of time. Like government budget is prepared for 1 year. We can see the provisions of the budget is applicable from 1st of April to 31st of March next year. So budget is prepared for specified period. The second thing is budget is always futuristic. That is, budget is prepared for the future period. You see, government prepared the budget and the provisions of the budget is applicable for the future year to come. So we can say budget is always futuristic. Why government prepares the budget? You see that there are certain economic, social and political objectives, and in order to serve these objectives, government prepares the budget. I have mentioned here the points: reallocation of resources, reducing inequalities in income and wealth, economic stability, management of public enterprises, economic growth, and reducing regional disparities. Here the first point is reallocation of resources. Through the budgetary policy, government try to reallocate the resources. We know resources are limited, they are scarce, and these resources are to be used in such a way that different sections of the society get maximum benefit. This can be done in two ways: by way of tax concessions or subsidies. When government want to encourage any particular industry or particular category of goods, they will provide tax concessions there, they will provide subsidies. And in the same way, when government want to restrict the production of any particular commodity, they will impose heavy taxes on that. They will not give any kind of subsidies on that particular product. Like if government wants to encourage the khadi products, so all kind of tax concessions are given and subsidies are also given on purchase of raw materials and production of these khadi products, so that they can be produced at low cost and they can be made available to the people at low price. Because government wants to promote khadi industry, it wants that more and more people should use khadi. On the other hand, government impose heavy taxes on harmful consumption goods, like we can say liquor, cigarettes, tobacco products, all these things, because government don't want this to be consumed by the people. So the price is always to be kept very high, and for that what government will do? Government will increase more taxes. The second point here is reducing inequalities in income and wealth. Government wants to reduce the gap between rich and the poor. We know rich are very rich and poor are very poor. They don't have two-time meal even. So government want to reduce this gap. The poor must be brought up. Then how this is done? Through taxation policy in the government budget, this is done. More taxes are imposed on rich people who can afford to pay those taxes. And these poor people are relaxed from this kind of taxes. We see in our country, the direct tax, that is income tax, is progressive. That is, poor people will pay less. As the income goes on increasing, the person will pay more and more tax. So this is one measure to reduce inequalities between income and wealth, between rich and the poor. The third point, that is economic stability. It is the responsibility of the government, or government always tries to maintain economic stability in the economy. Economic stability can be maintained by maintaining proper balance between inflation and deflation. When we say inflation, means a regular and constant increase in prices of the commodities is called inflation. And deflation, when prices of the goods decrease gradually and constantly, then that is called deflation. In economics, it is said deflation is more deadlier than inflation. So government have to maintain a balance between inflation as well as deflation. It will take certain measures in the budget, and it will try to maintain balance between these two things, and that is what is called economic stability. The fourth point is management of public enterprises. We should know that there are a large number of public sector industries, especially natural monopolies, which are established and managed for social welfare of the public, like Indian Railways. That railways is run only by the government. So it is the responsibility of the government to establish and manage this kind of monopolies. So in the budget, government will make provision for the proper development and for the proper execution of this kind of monopolies which are managed by the government. The fifth point is economic growth. The economic growth of the country depends upon the rate of saving and investment. And for this purpose, in the budgetary policy, government make various provisions to mobilize and encourage this savings and investment by the people and by different sectors of the economy. The savings and investments are very, very important in any economy. They play a major role in the economic development of the country. When people save money, that will lead to capital formation, that will lead to economic development of the country. But people will be able to save when they get more money, when they get sufficient money. So government have to see to this aspect in the budget. The sixth point is reducing regional disparities. Regional disparities means regional differences. We can see that some areas are well developed, all the industries are set up there, the infrastructural development is also very good, everything is very fine. On the other hand, when we go to other areas, rural areas, backward areas, hilly areas, we see that there is no development, no industries are there, no infrastructural developments are there. This kind of difference is called regional disparities. Government wants to remove these regional disparities. Government always wants that there should be uniform development in all the areas, in all the states. And for this purpose, government declare certain provisions to encourage industries to come up in the backward and hilly areas, undeveloped areas, so that there can be infrastructural development also. So in this way, in the budget, government used to make various provisions for the development of these backward and undeveloped areas. So that are some objectives of government budget, why government prepares the budget.